So if you're clicking on this video, you're probably wondering what happened to ticker LEDS on Friday, June 4th, 2021. And what we saw were gains of about 70% at the peak, which was pretty crazy. For those of you who aren't aware of LEDS or the company Semi LEDS, this is essentially a ticker that goes off with seemingly no news whatsoever. You'll occasionally see volume just siphon into it out of nowhere, and it tends to happen on a Friday. If you're a day trader, you might be aware of this ticker. It came on my radar months ago, and it followed that pattern pretty sporadically, but it was a pattern nonetheless, to the point where if you saw the volume kind of coming in, you could kind of rinse and repeat and eventually accrue a very good amount of profit off of this. So about the company, Semi-LEDs Corp is a manufacturer of ultra-high brightness light emitting diode chips with fabrication facilities, and they are based out of Taiwan. The company is basically involved in the development and manufacture of metal alloy vertical LED chips in blue, green, and UV, using patented and MVP LED technology. The company's main products include blue, white, green, and UV LED chips. The company designs, assembles, and sells lighting fixtures and systems for general lighting applications, including commercial, residential, and industrial lighting. Its lighting products consist primarily of LED luminaries and LED retrofits. But anyhow, that's just a brief summary on the company Semi-LEDs and who they are, where they're based out of. But why did this ticker move on Friday? Kind of back to what I was talking about in noticing this ticker as a day trader. It moved just seemingly based on no news. And if we go back here to the pre-market hours, like very, very early, we can note the volume. Look at how small the volume is. You have 200, you have 69, 410, 600, 2000. You have a decent little spike there, 600. But you're seeing some decent spikes here and there, but the volume overall is pretty low. Now, when the market opened, you saw this volume spike as high as 1 million right here. This is at 9:31. This is a minute after market open. You had 1 million plus volume. And that volume just kept being stable at like the 500,000 mark all morning. And you saw this thing go from opening at around 1838 all the way to a high of 2786. And then that wasn't even it. It actually went to 2880 at the high, before eventually dropping back down in kind of finding a stable point around the $20 mark. But anyhow, that's essentially what this ticker does. Usually it moves a little slower. Usually you don't see this ticker get volume in the market open. And what I've noticed is when the volume does spike, it's typically stagnant all day. And then you'll see the volume spike around like the afternoon, close to market close, and before after hours. But even if we go back to Thursday, you see on Thursday, this thing opened up at like $11, right? And again, the volume was pretty low. And then out of nowhere, you see tons of volume come in and shoot it up to the 14, like basically the $15 range. And you see this climb up to 1550, and it goes as high as 1744, and it keeps going. It actually went from $11 all the way to almost $21 on Thursday. So this thing, it does exactly what it does, where it just goes crazy out of nowhere. Seemingly no news, it just goes crazy out of nowhere. And then you'll typically see that price drop back down throughout the day into after hours where it dropped back down to $14. And then the following day, it shot back up on that Friday up to 28.80. So LED's doing exactly what it does. But yeah, if we go into the daily chart, you can see all these spikes from LEDs that they just like appear out of nowhere. You see these giant spikes that happen. Here's one in May, here's one end of June, and here's one in June that just launched way up. Here's one right over here in February. But anyhow, that's just essentially how this ticker operated. You would just see it get pumped on Fridays. And that is a pattern that I've noticed about it in the past. It moves on no news. So if you're wondering why did this like go from an $11 stock up to 28.80, who knows? Will it go back down? Yeah, probably will. This stock tends to hit highs and then it tends to go back down, and then seemingly out of nowhere, once the volume's gone, volume will siphon back in and it will go back up. That just tends to be what happens here. And as you can see here too, it is overbought on the RSI. So I expect this to come back down in the near future. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.